Hey guys, Arleesha here and welcome to another video. I hope you enjoyed the unnecessary drama as much as I did. We're going to be taking a look at some new Paul Rubens products today, starting with this paper. So I've got the original cold pressed paper from Paul Rubens on the right here, with their new hot pressed paper on the left. I would say that the texture of these two papers reminds me so much of the difference between Bauhong or even like the Stonehenge cotton paper, they have names. Anyway, those papers, those differences between the hot press and cold press, they seem very similar to me. So I was actually really excited to see that because I love the hot press versions of papers from those brands. So I was really excited to give this one a try and see if I liked it better. The people over at Lightwish who distribute these products on Amazon also sent me a new brush. This is the original brush that they sent me here, the larger size 4 Quill brush that I enjoyed very much and still do. My only tiny, you can't even call it really a complaint with this brush, it's just the nature of the brush. You can't get a super fine point with this brush because it's so soft and so large. So they also sent me the smaller size 1 Quill brush, and it complements the other one so well. It still holds a lot of water like the larger one, not as much as the larger one, but you can get really nice thin, very fine strokes from this one, and that's one of my favorite things about Quill brushes is just the variety of line strokes you can get. I would say that these brushes feel a tiny bit stiffer or firmer than if you're familiar with like the Princeton Neptune brush. That one gets really soft, and when you press down with the brush it kind of maintains that sideward shape, you know, and kind of stays a little bent, and these spring back a little bit more than that Princeton Neptune. So I've been playing around with both of these two brushes and I'm actually really happy with how they pair up with one another. I feel like the larger brush allows you to put in larger blocks of color and fill in areas and get those initial loose brush strokes down, which is how I like to work, while this finer brush allows me to work in smaller areas with littler details and less paint on my brush at a time, so I have a bit more control when I want it and I can still lay in larger areas when I want to. So the two brushes together are a very nice combo. A little bit of a spoiler, I have actually already painted something with my Paul Rubens paint and this paper. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen this portrait piece. I was so excited when I got these products. I've had them for a little while now and I couldn't wait to paint with them. So I did this portrait piece a little while back, and you can find the original for that piece as well as this new one that we're going to be working on today for sale on my shop, and I will have prints of those available as well. So today we're going to be painting a hand. I really enjoy painting hands. My original intention with this was to use, again, just like with our last Paul Rubens video, exclusively the products from this company. So I'm using my paints from Paul Rubens as well as the brushes and this new paper. The last time I did this, I was really happy with the paints and I was really happy with this size 4 brush, but I had a lot of issues with the paper. The paper actually really held me back and left the overall experience not super enjoyable, but I'd still been enjoying using the paints and the brush in my sketchbook or on different types of paper. So when the company reached out to me and let me know that they had another type of paper that they were promoting, I was so excited to have the opportunity to try it out and was hoping that this would be like the perfect combination of Paul Rubens products that would work really nicely together. This hot press paper comes in this really nice block. It's like this beautiful, fancy looking, like leather-esque, it's like a block, so the edges are gummed and it kind of, gummed down so it's all attached, so you don't have to use tape. You can just remove the piece at the end, but it's in this cover like a sketchbook, so you could kind of travel with it if you wanted to. It might be good for like plein air painting and you don't have to tape down the sides if you're out. You could carry it with you. It's not easy obviously to turn the pages, you're only working on one piece at a time, so it's almost this pseudo sketchbook thing or just a really nice watercolor block. Because of its fancy presentation, this block of paper is a little bit more expensive, and I'll put the price here on the screen for you because I don't remember it right now. So it does cost a bit more, but I've been enjoying the paper very much, which is a huge relief for me. I didn't really want to be kind of disappointed in another paper, and while this block of paper is smaller than the larger cold press block and around the same price actually, maybe even, I don't know if it's more expensive or not than that other pack that I got of cold pressed paper, but this actually has value to me, this hot pressed paper, because I like it and I will use it. The presentation of Paul Rubens products has always been something that I've really enjoyed. It just has this tiny little bit of fancy to it that I enjoy, and I don't think that the prices are so outrageous that it seems unapproachable for a lot of people. The paints in particular are probably the most affordable of the entire range, while the brushes and the paper can be a bit more expensive. But I do think that they're worth what you pay for them. A little bit about the piece that I'm working on. I actually was originally intending for this to be a smaller study for a larger painting I want to do that actually includes more of the figure, and I wanted this piece for this video to just be practicing the hand, because I already know what I want to do for the piece, but I didn't want to do the full piece for this video, so I thought I would use, this smaller hand. But I was actually kind of disappointed when I walked away from the first, 15 minutes of painting, which was all I did on the first day of working on this piece, because I felt like I had ruined it and I was going to have to start over with a new piece for this video. So I just set it aside and told myself I'd come back to it the next day. And when I looked at it this morning, the day that I finished it, I was able to see the potential in it a lot more clearly, so I'm glad I didn't just give up on it. I also kind of resigned myself to letting it be something other than what I had originally intended. So in the final piece, I won't be using these exact colors or color scheme, and it'll include other elements, but for this smaller practice piece, I just allowed myself to enjoy the Paul Rubens watercolors. So I just had some fun playing with the paints and just dropping in, that really strong phthalo blue mix in the fingers and adding some veiny details, which really helped to solidify the piece for me. I like it a lot more with those elements added, and I'm really happy that I pushed through and took the time to think about the things I like in a piece and how I could kind of turn this into something that I would be happy to look back on and that I could enjoy and share with you guys without frustrating myself and feeling like I had to start over. So overall, I do feel like this paper block as well as the new brush that they sent to me are both a win. And if you guys remember my Paul Rubens review, you'll remember that I kind of felt like the watercolor palette was a bit of a gem, and I was really happy to have been sent the products. It felt like this amazing discovery because the paint palette themselves, it's really affordable and the quality is really nice, and I feel like you can do so much with the Paul Rubens watercolors, and I felt like it was a really great affordable find for artists. I think that the paper and the brushes are also fantastic and really amazing finds, but they kind of lose a bit of that excitement that the paints have for me because they are more expensive. So they don't have that sort of budget price point as much as the paints do, but they definitely have the same level of quality. It just kind of costs a bit more to get them. hope you guys have enjoyed this look at these new Paul Rubens products. If you're interested in checking out either the artwork that I showed you today or any of the products, you can find links to them down in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here and watching, and have a wonderful, day or weekend or time, and a wonderful life that, yep, have good times. Okay, bye guys!